Hi, my name is Ikaika Pelotu, and this is my presentation on my Beaumont Ward website senior project. So today I'm going to be going over a little bit of background behind the project, talking about the goals and outcomes of this project, demonstrating some of the functionality of the designs that I've done, and then summarizing everything up at the end. A little bit of background. So the Beaumont Ward of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints currently has a website. Um, as it stands now, it's a single page, and it's designed to be a hub of resources for the members. So we have things like flyers posted there and announcements and links to other resources that they can use. What we wanted to do with this project is to allow an average user to be able to update and edit and add new features, new events to the existing website. And so the project idea was that I would come in, I would add a backend, create those additional pages that allowed the user to edit and update that the original home page. Um, And so now we can talk about some of the goals. Each of these goals were in my proposal that I submitted at the beginning of the semester. And we had six goals that we wanted to achieve. Three of them we handily achieved. The other three we needed to make some changes to. The first goal was that users could edit and update site pages. More specifically, we wanted them to be able to add and remove and edit link boxes and other pieces of content on the page. We also wanted that content to be dynamically generated from an API. The next goal we had was that users could create accounts and log in. This one was modified slightly. We kept the privileges to create accounts and left that to the administrator, while any user with the link can be able to, an account created, can log in. Our next goal was to allow users to upload images and files. We're still working with our web hosting platform to set up a file management system. But as it stands right now, users can upload images, which are stored in the database. And the last goal is that users could use OAuth to create an account and log in. We decided, because of how small the user base is, that this functionality wasn't really necessary for this project. Now we can talk about the outcomes. Over the 130 hours I worked, I was able to create a C# API, which interfaces with a SQL Server database. More specifically, we use the Entity Core framework to make those transactions really easy. For the front end, we've been using Angular as well as Bootstrap for our CSS, and I was able to create 8 new views, which the users can use to interface with that API in order to add, remove, and edit link boxes, link categories, events, and announcements. Those are the main models that we used for this project. Next, I was able to convert the original homepage from its kind of static HTML into a dynamically generated page. And lastly, I implemented JSON Web Tokens in order to secure routes and API calls. This next slide is a kind of diagram of the views that we have. In the original website, there's only the homepage. Now I added the login, which leads into user dashboard, which then opens up these links to these 4 additional pages, which edit the individual models themselves. And then lastly, on this slide, we see each of those models with their endpoints. And all of these are HTTP requests. So now we're going to open up the site and go through a demo. So this is the current state of the project being run on localhost. This component right here is the announcements as seen in the model before. Here where the events are stowed, it's on a carousel and are these images. Then next we have the link category, which are these bars. And then the boxes right here are link boxes. So what will happen is a user will log in. A user will log in and they'll be brought to this dashboard page. And from here, they can access all the tools that they need to update the home page. For example, if we go to link categories, the first thing we have to do is select a category. And here we see all of the link boxes that are under that category. And we can open this up and edit it. I'm going to grab one of these SVGs right here. And we're going to test it out. We're going to create a new link category. And we'll just call it test cat. You can see it's now been added to this list. We can select it. There are no link boxes under now. And we'll make a new one. We'll make a second one. And so these link boxes in the link category are stored in the database. And if we go to the home page and scroll to the bottom, we see that they're now part of that dynamic generation. And we can go back to that view, open up link categories and delete one. And immediately it's removed. And that's how simple it is. You can also delete the category itself, and it will remove the individual boxes as well, kind of a cascade delete. And that's the same thing for announcements. You open up, you add new announcements, and you can edit them here with link events as well. I'll give a demonstration of this. We can add a new name, add a description, add expiration dates, and upload a file. This is just a picture of me. And we see this image is now stored in the database. And if we go to the home page, you can scroll through and there's the new event all ready to go. And the last two things is the user page. Now this view will only be visible to admins. And you can see right here, right now, I'm the only one who's an admin. But if we wanted to change that, oh, wait, wrong one. There we go. If we want to change that, we can click this, select edit user. Now this uses an admin and he would be able to see this page and to access these routes to edit and add new users, as well as delete them. Now to show that this content is being dynamically generated, I'm going to actually turn off the API and refresh the page. And so now we see the announcements are all gone. Those images are gone from the middle and all the link boxes are gone as well. And so I can go ahead and turn the API back on. Oh, yeah. And refresh. And now you see all the content is back. So in summary, over the last 12 weeks, I've spent over 130 hours learning and building this web application that allows users to add, update, and remove content from the existing Beaumont website. I've really enjoyed this experience and have learned how to use so many new tools. Before I started, I didn't even really know how to program in C#. And so it was really fun to learn. I'm excited to move forward and hopeful for kind of the future. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll open up to any questions that you might have.
Yeah, hi, Ikaka. Yeah, very good. Looks awesome. Very good presentation. Um, just a couple general questions for you, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Um, what was your main challenge that in this project, would you say your biggest obstacle to get through, or to and biggest accomplishment, I think, at the same time?
I think there are definitely 2 weeks where I was stumped and I was running into bugs. One was in regards to those events. So when I upload them to the database, I was running into a lot of bugs. I did a kind of unconventional way of storing it because I converted it to a byte array and then to base 64 after that. And that was I just remember spending 12 hours working on that and just getting nowhere. And after that, like I continued and persisted in it. And when I was finally able to figure it out, it just was the kind of best feeling. I think, as I talked to you, my mentor, and other developers, there are times where you're not going to be able to solve it immediately. It's not going to come easy. But I know as you kind of persist in it and are diligent, that you'll be able to find an answer or find someone who knows the answer.
Great. No, that's good. Yeah, it's very rewarding when you finally the light bulb comes on and you finally figure out those challenges. Very good. What what was the main skill that you learned from this process? I know you learned different technologies, different frameworks to get this all working, and well, what was the biggest skill do you think you take away from this?
You know, something else that I struggled for a long time to understand was programming with observables. So I during the course of the So for it to work, we have HTTP requests to the server, and these HTTP requests return observable because it takes time for it to load and it has to wait. So it runs asynchronously. And so it was a really hard concept to wrap my head around how these observables work, how you subscribe to it, and how you run that code, and how you have to run it separately from the rest of your code. But I think that skill of knowing how to do that and how to work with observables and with async, uh, it's something that'll be very valuable for me because it's true no matter where you go. You're gonna want to run code at different speeds, and when the data finally gets to your program, I think that was probably the one of the number one skills I learned.
Yeah, great. Yeah, observables are pretty cool to work with for sure. What just one more question. What part of the process of learning programming and understanding your challenges and what needs to be done and all of the tasks that are involved in getting to your objective end result or that specific um, task that you want to complete. Time management is a is a important part of that process, and how do you think you've um, learned through this process to manage your time?
Yeah. I had a plan coming into this, which really helped. But there were points where I hit roadblocks and that plan kind of got shifted. And I knew I needed to make some adjustments. Going into it, I planned on spending 10 hours a week on this project. And then I realized the due date was pushed forward. So this normally semesters take 14 weeks. This semester is only 13 weeks. And so I had to make the adjustment to just spend 12 hours a week working on it. But I also knew that I needed to make the most of that time. And so part of that was taking breaks and stepping away from the problem. That's I think one benefit of if you have a bad week, when you step away and come back the next week, it can sometimes put it into perspective and you can solve the problem really well. But those are the main two things: is adjusting for the needs, whether that's more or less time, and then definitely taking breaks helped me use my time more effectively.
Great. Yeah. No, that's all the questions I have. Yeah, well done. Appreciate your work, your effort to help with this project, and it's doing, the end result is what I had envisioned, right? As far as when we first discussed kind of our goals and end result as far as your project has went. But yeah, I think it looks really good, and the fact that we're able to get log in and actually add content to that landing page is exactly what we're looking for. So yeah, very well done.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you very much. This, I guess, concludes my presentation. And that's it.